important for us as something which is part of a dimension of Islam. It doesn't mean that the first attitude is wrong or it's outdated or is mansukha that you have. No, it's all there. But you have another strategy because the opposition is changing. And it's changing, it's going to kill you. They want to destroy you. So now you have a community you have to resist. You are equipped to resist, and you should be equipped to resist. وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ. So struggle, strive, resist. Be ready to resist the people who are going to attack you. وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا. Don't transgress. Respect the limits. And get this, it's quite important. They are attacking you, you resist, but there are limits. And what we got as the limits is that you can't kill innocent people, you can't kill civilians. Remember, this was said by the Prophet ﷺ when he was sending the companions in the north, and he said it, you can't kill innocent people, children, women, religious people, and you cannot destroy even nature. You have to respect the fruit trees because this is not part of the struggle. So you target the army because they want to kill you, but you don't transgress. True respect the limits. So there is something which is from the very beginning, ethics of war. We don't kill innocent people, and we have to stop and to respect the innocents and the civilians. So, having said that now, and then we come to the understanding of our religion. And you get something which is in the same verse that I was mentioning. الَّذِينَ أُخْرِجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ إِلَّا أَنْ يَقُولُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ. Those who have been just rejected from and removed and expelled from their house for the only reason that they are saying, Allah is our Lord. رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ. And look at what is coming afterward, which is very important. And this is where you need to get this. You need to get this because it's part of the struggle. وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ لَهُدِّمَتْ صَوَامِعُ وَبِيَعٌ وَصَلَوَاتٌ وَمَسَاجِدُ يُذْكَرُ فِيهَا اسْمُ اللَّهِ كَثِيرًا. If Allah had not put a set of people, again a set of others, you would have sanctuaries, temples, prayers and masajid, mosques being destroyed. Meaning what? This struggle between human beings, these struggles between nations, these conflicts are putting us in a risk, but they are necessary for our survival. No humanity without conflicts, because absolute power is the destruction of the world. Absolute power for human beings. The only absolute power is for Allah. Allahu la ilaha illahu. But you have two verses starting exactly the same. وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ لَفَسَدَتِ الْأَرْضِ. The world, the earth would have been corrupt if there is no this diversity. And this diversity is important. But what does it mean? This is the very meaning of jihad. The very meaning of jihad that you will find on earth. Among human beings, people who are going to oppress, people who are going to kill, people who want power, money, and hegemony. You have to resist. This is in the name of your humanity, in the name of God. You have to resist oppression. You have to resist anyone who is going to be an oppressor. You have to. So if you are in Canada, if you are in the United States of America, if we are in Europe, if we are in Africa, if you see someone, if you see a government, if you see anyone in the name of your faith, you have to resist any kind of oppression. Why? Because if you let absolute power for any nation, it will be corruption on earth. This is a rule. So the dignity of human being, if when you see transgressors, is to stand up. So first, with all the peaceful means that you can. But if it's a question, sometimes they are going to destroy, they are going to kill, resistance is legitimate. So I'm not buying all this discourse today that we are pushed to repeat that we are only peaceful and not ready to resist. If you buy this discourse, you are forgetting that your added value is we won't never give up facing oppression and colonization and transgression of any kind of, or not respecting human dignity. So this is something for me which is so important today because I see it. I see it among Muslims, this psychological war where we come with an understanding of Islam which is not exactly the reality of our message. Now, you can't deny the fact, and this is what I was saying, that there are different interpretations. And we keep on repeating, you know what? We can't go and kill innocent people. ومن أجل ذلك كتبنا على بني إسرائيل أنه من قتل نفسا بغير نفس أو فساد في الأرض كأنه قتل الناس جميعا. We keep on repeating this. We say, we reveal to Bani Israel that anyone who is going to kill someone with no reason, and here it's min ghayri nafsin, which is someone who has been killed before, as something which is here the understanding of this interpretation of retribution for murder, or murderous sedition, or fasadin fil ard, so corruption on earth. Anyone who is going to kill one is as if he is going to kill the whole humanity. We keep on repeating this, saying we can't kill. The problem is that you have to face many interpretations as Muslims. You can't just quote this verse and say, look, that's it. When people are saying, look, repeat the verse, please. من غير نفس أو فساد في الأرض. Okay, come. Let me ask you something. This hyperpower that we have around the world now, the United States of America, or the rich nation, Europe, Canada even, what are they doing? What are they doing? Are they not spreading corruption on earth? What are they doing in Iraq? What are they doing in Afghanistan? What are they doing in the Middle East? Can you say, oh, nothing, I don't know? So someone who is coming to tell you, I interpret this as corruption on earth, so this verse is not working for that, you can't say you are not a good Muslim. You have to respond to that. Interpretation versus interpretation. So don't quote verses in a very simple way without understanding that the people who are using these verses to kill, they have interpretations and they are trying to understand the world. So this is why to a religious interpretation you have to come with a religious interpretation to say there is a religious problem here. And as Muslims we have to acknowledge the fact that we have Muslims understanding some verses in a way which is a literalist way, not contextualized, and we have to understand that. Now, you have to add something else. Is that why the Prophet ﷺ changed the strategies? Because the environment was changing. It was not the same in Mecca that it was in Medina. So, you may have the same principles, but the strategies is changing depending on the environment. How do you call this? This is called politics. So are you going to respond to the Muslims only with verses? You have to come with strategies and politics. Is this the right strategy? And why are you using this? So two things. Is this the right understanding? And is this the right strategy? The right understanding of the text and the right understanding of the context. Principles and strategy. We have to come to this. Are we doing this as Muslims? No, now we are so scared that the only thing that we are responding to the people is, you know what, Islam is a religion of peace. Pray during the night and disappear during the day. I'm sorry to tell you, this is a betrayal of the Islamic message. a betrayal. We are not understanding the message of Islam here, and we have to come to this understanding. So when it comes to al-fasad fil ard, of course, I would be the first to say, you know what? I'm a European. I'm a Westerner. I'm a Western Muslim. But I understand something, that when someone is telling me that I have to resist the corruption that is spread by industrialized and powerful nations, I have to, yes. Now I have to say yes. That what is done now in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Palestine, in Africa, this is corruption and this is oppression. I have to say that. Now I have to come and to say, but this is not the right way to read the verse. It's not the right way that in order to face oppression, you can go and kill the people. You can't do that because we have rules in Islam. You don't kill the civilians and you don't kill the innocent people. So you come with a better understanding of the verse, a better understanding of the context, and you come with something which is a structural way to deal with these problems. And the Muslims are not doing this. This is the intellectual jihad. وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ, the Quran and your mind, because your mind should be the way you deal with the verses. Are you using your mind or quoting the verse? And the problem that we have is that when we are with literalists and people they want to kill, they just quote the verse and that's it. They just not come with this, and was this verse, and they just cut the verses and they don't refer to the verses. وَقَاتِلُوا الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُوكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا, and they come not with this, which is you have to fight the people who are fighting you. They come with the verse which is after that. وَاقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُم, kill them wherever you find them. I say, no, you can't do that. You can't take this verse and forget what is before that. So you have to contextualize the verse with the verses and the verses with the context. I'm sorry to tell you, brothers and sisters, in Islam, that now we need scholars to be able to say this, but every single Muslim in this time should know this. This is the basic knowledge of Islam. Because you should be in your daily life resistance. You should stand out for justice. And justice is principles and understanding. Your mind is your first weapon. Your mind should be your first weapon. Exactly the way it was put in the Quran. So, this is for me so important that I see today too many Muslims not coming to this. Now, having said yes, there are interpretations. And there is a diversity of interpretations. Now we have to say, look, we may disagree on the way we read the Quran. And there is a diversity of strategies. And even the Prophet ﷺ himself had strategies in Mecca and other strategies in Medina. And the companions had different strategies, the way they were dealing with this. Now we have different interpretations, but it should be clear that anyone who is going to kill innocents and civilians that have nothing to do with the war are going beyond what is the accepted diversity of interpretations. So my first attitude is to say it's not only non-Islamic, it's anti-Islamic. After the first victims of the people who are killed on the ground, the second victims are the Muslims. All of us are victims of this interpretation. So we have to put limits and to understand when and how we are going to deal with this interpretation. Now, let us come to the practicalities. You know, there are people who are quite